Good morning, good morning, good morning. Wait, let me figure this out. Post. We are having, good morning. We're having a typical Monday morning over here. Everything was perfect and smooth, and then 9:59 we had technical difficulties, but it seems like everything's going well right now, right? Thumbs up. Okay, you guys, happy Monday. I'm so happy to have you here. Good morning, and welcome to our live practice session. What's happening? Are you freaking out?
I have to record it here too.
Okay.
So you have to say hi to Astrological again.
Hi, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our Monday morning intention setting practice and live yoga class happening on yogagirl.com. Bear with us today. I don't know what's going on, but we're having some husband and wife technical difficulties today. Things seem to be working pretty smoothly right now. Just to give ourselves a little bit of space, so I'll go over some logistical things first so that if you have anything you need to get together before we start our practice, you have some time to do that right now. We are going to flow today. We have a 1-hour practice plan. We are going to head over to the mat in just a second. And today we actually have music that's going to be streaming live through this class, which is awesome. I had some feedback from last time that having the music actually streamed along with the class was the best thing ever, that it gave a different sort of in the moment feeling that everyone could really feel and go with the flow together with the music in a different way. So we're going to do that today as well. However, I'm still going to do a little countdown for playlist for another reason. So if you have a secondary device, if you have big speakers, you have something else, and you want to also play the playlist on another device, you still can. I'm still going to do the 3, 2, 1 play thing.
When it's not live anymore, it won't have music, so that's why we're doing it.
When the class is not live, so when it goes up in the library on yogagirl.com, we can't bring the class with the music with us because that would be a copyright issue. So that's why we're still doing that, so that if you're at home and you want to take this class later and it's not live and you want to do it with music, you'll still be able to time it well. Does that make sense? I don't really know how any of this stuff works, but I know that it's working. We're going to set our intention today. We're going to pull a card today. I have a little journaling prompt today, so we have some logistical things. But if you're anywhere else, if you're not on yogagirl.com, if you're on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook right now, and you want to join us for this actual practice, start heading over to yogagirl.com so you can join us there now. I am going to read a little bit. I did this last Monday, and I felt like it was really fitting. And then it's kind of like once you get into astrology, it's always fitting. I don't know if anyone feels the same way. It's kind of like when you're looking for signs, you'll find them in a similar way. So I don't know if it's that we just align ourselves really well with how the universe speaks to us. And this ancient science of astrology, to me, it just makes absolute total sense. And I love starting my day with like a little overview, like here is where we're at, here's what's going on. So again, I'm on Cafe Astrology, just reading some stuff right now. It's very short. So just in general, for May 18th, that's today, it's Monday, it's a brand new week. For me, this is like the 3rd week in a row when Monday has actually felt like a Monday, which I think is a good sign. We had so many weeks in a row where Monday could have been any day, and we didn't even know what day anything was, and now I'm kind of getting the groove back in terms of weeks and having a work week and a weekend, just a little bit at least, so that's good. So let's see what the stars have in store for us today. May 18th, the moon spends the day in the sign of Aries, harmonizing with Mercury in Gemini this afternoon. Today, we are direct and straightforward, although not especially sensitive or sympathetic with these influences. The moon in Aries inspires our independent spirit, our bravery, and our sense of enterprise. We prefer to meet situations head on today, and we can be intent on starting fresh, being first, or pushing forward. Nevertheless, a Venus-Jupiter quintile inspires cooperation in situations that call for it. We give one another the benefit of the doubt today. I like that. Straightforward, direct, getting some things done. We are independent, we're brave, and we're kind of inspired in our sense of enterprise, which is really good for today's intention that we're going to set and what we're going to work with this week, I think. About the moon today, so the moon is in Aries. I'm going to read a little bit about that so that you know. When the moon is in Aries, we are motivated by a strong desire to start fresh. A gut instinct to start something new is with us now, as well as the gumption to actually do it. Our pioneering impulses are strong, and we feel energetic, spontaneous, and enthusiastic. We may also be tactless and impulsive right now. Excess energy is best channeled into physical activity. The moon in Aries generally favors the following activities: quick actions that yield immediate results, undertakings that involve the self and the personality. Staying power may be lacking, self-assertion, taking on challenges, and beginning short-term projects. So today is a day to do, right? Today's a day to take action. Today's a day to really move our bodies, to really get into what are those immediate results? What is that immediate feeling that I want to have in my body today? So kind of facing this Monday just head on right now. That's what we're doing when the moon is in Aries. And I'm kind of excited because this week we have a new moon in Gemini on Friday. So we're going to have a big new moon ceremony on Friday happening here in the Luna Shala. Obviously on yogagirl.com. We had a full moon ceremony 2 weeks ago. So new moon is really exciting. And new moon, as you know, or maybe you don't know, but now you will know, is a time for setting intentions. New moon is a time for planting seeds. New moon is a time to really define what our goals are, what our dreams are, what our intentions really are for this next phase in our lives. And I think the timing of this is just really, really, really beautiful because so many of us are in this place right now where we can sense an old chapter kind of closing. I feel like every time I talk about this, I have to like knock on all the wood so that coronavirus doesn't go, aha, you jinxed it, I'm coming right back. But I think in most places right now, we're kind of getting that feeling of there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. In some places, we can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. Obviously, places where the pandemic is still really, really bad, it's going to be a different vibration than in places like Aruba, where we are. We only have four active cases in Aruba, which is like going down by the day. And they're talking about reopening the schools soon. We are allowed to have the Island Yoga Boutique open once or twice a week. So there's like some changes happening in that direction, right? Which is kind of wonderful. And if you're in that space where you can sense that, okay, there is an end to this pandemic. It wasn't that long ago that we all sat at home really wondering, is this ever going to end? Are we ever going to get to be outside again? Are we ever going to get to hug each other again? Are things going to, find some new variation or new version of normal? And now I feel kind of hopeful. I don't know about you, but I feel a little scared. So just for me speaking from my own experience, I feel a little scared about it because there's been a lot of big, beautiful realizations that I've had about my life, a lot of shifts and changes about my own inner workings that I don't want to lose. So there are things that this pandemic brought me that I'm terrified are going to go away. Right? I don't want to go back to what things were. I don't want to go back to being super busy. I don't want to go back to rushing through life. We all have those things that we just kind of refuse. Like, no, I don't want to go back to what was. I want to move forward, and I want to keep these things that were actually good, the things that I learned, the things that were super valuable. I want to bring them with me. And I have this tendency to have big epiphanies about my life and then get caught up in the idea of what I should be doing. And then I lose them, right? I have this tendency to run super fast. And the slow pace of life that this pandemic brought me has been a huge shift and a really important one. So on a personal level, I feel a little scared and a little nervous about things opening back up just in terms of myself. But also on that greater scale of like, what is our world going to look like after this? Are we seriously never going to hug again? Like that terrifies me, that feeling of, people are going to be distant with each other all year long or maybe into the future. That really scares me. So much of the work that I do in this world is revolving around physical touch, is revolving around having that heart open space where we can be vulnerable with each other, where we can connect. It's a big piece of the healing journey if we're in that place to have that physical connection, to be intimate in that way. And just a feeling like, we're never gonna get to hug our friends or, loved ones or acquaintances or family members or grandparents. And that scares me a little bit too. So there are a lot of unknowns, and then of course big pieces for everybody in terms of business, in terms of work. Are we going to be able to sustain ourselves moving forward into this new version of reality? So for each of us, we have a lot of question marks, right? We have a lot of things that were kind of thrown up in the air. And as we can start to sense the beginning of those things settling again, in one hand, it feels really good, like, okay, we're going to be able to start moving this world again. But on the other end, it's like, okay, what are things going to look like? So this week being really a big, big, big week, astrologically, also in the timing of where we are as a society right now. Also, I think on our own individual healing paths, the work we've done prior to this, all the weeks, the months of everything we've done prior to this has led us to this place where I kind of feel, to use a gardening metaphor, which I really like to do these days, apparently, because I keep doing it, we have prepared our soil right now, right? We have really fertile soil. It's like we've pulled out all the weeds, we've fertilized our soil, we've kind of laid new ground. Maybe we've even built like garden beds where there was nothing. Like we've really prepared this great foundation for, this is what I want to create. And this week, what this new moon is really perfect for is actually planting the seeds, right? And what does planting the seeds mean? Planting the seeds mean we define what we want out of this life, right? We define, so I'm planting something, right? And I'm hoping at the end of that, I'm going to have an abundant harvest of some sort. I got to decide, right? What am I growing here? Like, what is it that I'm actually excited to grow? What do I want to eat at the end of this? What makes me really happy? Like, what works in these circumstances that I am too, right? To continue down the gardening metaphor path. In my garden, there's been a lot of things that I thought I really wanted to grow. And then as I grew them, I realized I actually didn't enjoy this particular plant. Or actually, we don't actually eat that vegetable a lot, but I put a lot of energy and effort into growing that. And then I realized, okay, there's things that I really want to do, but it's super, super hard. I need to prepare my soil in a different way. I need to find different circumstances. So having that time to plan and decide, what do I want at the end of this? That's what planting the seeds mean. So for our journaling prompt today, it's kind of a big one, and I want you to do it before Friday so that you have more time to finish your soil work, right? So you have more time to really finish laying this foundation so that we can use this work that we're doing today and at the beginning of this week for our ceremony for the new moon on Friday. So the journaling prompt today, it's free flow writing or stream of consciousness writing, where I'm just going to give you the topic, which is going to be our big title. You're going to put at the top of a blank page. And you're going to start writing, and you're not going to stop until you sense something inside of you clicking into place. And maybe that means you journal for an hour. Maybe it means you go for 15 minutes and then you pick it back up later today. Maybe it means you kind of space things out in a different way so that you can get really clear on what how you're going about this practice, right? So what you're going to write, what we're going to journal on is my dream life. My dream life. You're going to put that at the top of a fresh page in your notebook, in your journal, my dream life. And you begin however you like. You can begin with a sentence, my dream life is, or something I've always wanted to create is, or from this place in my life, what I really want to do is, or a dream I've always had is, or when I look at my life, actually, can you let yourself dream a little bigger than you normally do? Sometimes we have this idea that we have to be realistic about how we dream. Maybe you have a dream, but then your mind tells you, oh, but that's kind of crazy. Like to get there, you have to do this, 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 and this, and this, and all those things are impossible. So why even dream? Find a smaller dream, find a more convenient dream, make yourself a little smaller, put yourself in a box that's easier to digest by society. Like make yourself a little, package it in a better way. Actually, for this practice, for this week, let yourself go nuts, right? Dream the biggest dream you could possibly think of, because the truth is, all of those old structures have kind of crumbled, right? A lot of those structures have crumbled. I have had big, big, big questions in my life that I have never even thought of as potential questions. Is this how I want to live my life? Like things like, is this the country I want to live in? Like, do our lives have to look this way? I even had a thought that was like, do I want to exist on the internet? That was a question that came my way. Do I want to continue doing anything through social media, through the online world. Like, it's never occurred to me to even think that thought. Now, I love this work, especially these classes, like what we're doing right now, but the question around social media, Instagram, this whole thing about being online and connected so much, I'm super questioning that, and I never really have before. So it doesn't mean that we have to take action on the things that we are journaling on today, or that we have to take action on the things that we're thinking about or conversing around or contemplating at all. But I want you to let yourself go outside of the box, right? Not just dreaming within your box of your current circumstance, but actually if you threw all of that like out the window, literally, what if you had no responsibilities? Imagine you had no responsibilities. Imagine you had no mortgage. Imagine you had no debt. Just imagine, let yourself get a little crazy with that dream just to see where it actually takes you, right? Oftentimes when we have those big responsibilities, we feel like we can't actually access that place of true joy, like of aligning ourselves with what we actually want, because the feeling is that'll never be able to happen anyway. So when you take those obstacles, just put them out of the way for now, just for the purpose of this dream exercise. What would your life be like? Like, what's your actual dream life? Like, what's the circumstance? How do you live? What kind of house do you have? What kind of work do you do? How much do you want to work? What's your family situation like? What's your friendship situation like? Your romantic place? How are you taking care of your body, your health? Like, what's really, 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 really important to you? And what would a dream version of your life look like? That's it for today's prompt. I mean, it's a huge one, so I'm not going to give you any framework. Sometimes when we do intention setting and goal setting, like I'll have different pillars to journal around, or different sections to make it easier and more digestible, and then we break it down to action points and things like that. That's not what we're doing at all this week. I want you to dream big and wide, color outside the lines, and if something comes your way, something intuitive that you want to do, you want to draw around that, you want to make a vision board, you want to do something actionable that just helps you dream a little bigger, then do that as well. This is a really free practice. It's kind of a good one, I think. I was talking to Marie Forleo. She was on the bathroom floor sessions with me, I think last week. So one of these days. And she said, why not pretend like right now as if this is New Year's, right? Like everything that we all the intentions that we set for January 1st, like this is what I want out of this year. We're nearing the end of May soon, and all of that is out the window. Like the first 5 months of this year are just kind of like, they don't count. They definitely count, but in terms of those goals, those dreams, like they probably don't even apply anymore. So setting new goals, new dreams, new intentions that actually reflect well in terms of where you are now, right? A lot of things have changed. We can't hold on to the same old dreams from back then. And I feel inspired and brave enough to dream a little bigger than I did last of December of 2019, which feels like years ago. Okay, are we ready to pick a card? So a little reminder, if you're not on yogagirl.com right now, if you are on Instagram or YouTube or somewhere else, we are going to have a full-length hour practice in about 5 minutes. We're going to start, so if you want to head over to yogagirl.com right now, you can start a free account. You can do the 10-day free trial if you want, and then at the end, decide if you want to stick around. I'm a little nervous about this deck of cards. I don't know. The last card that we drew didn't change my life. Am I allowed to say that? I'm going to tell you a secret. When I draw cards for myself, if I get a card that doesn't make any sense, I pick a new one. It's kind of like I want the answer that I already know. You know what I mean? I just want the universe to affirm it. Then I'll be like, oh, maybe today I'll pull 3 cards. Just because I didn't like the first one. No, the last card we got, actually, it did make sense to me in the end. We got the Flower Power card. So it's kind of like, we've gotten cards like walk away, let it go, say goodbye to the old, hello to the new, assertiveness. Like we've gotten big cards that represent huge pieces of ourselves. And then we got the Flower card. And I was like, what? That's not the card. But then I ended up having kind of a hard day. And at the end of the day, my first ever sunflower bloomed in the garden. My first ever sunflower bloomed in the garden. And it brought me so much joy. So I did resonate a little bit. But we got to just trust that whatever card we get is here, because that's the card we're supposed to get in this moment. And we're also channeling a lot of different energies at the same time, with so many of us practicing together. So many of us breathing here together, so many of us looking for answers in different ways together, right? So, yeah, let's just trust, right? Wherever you are, we'll go ahead and close the eyes. I'm going to clear this deck. And then just give yourself a moment here to tune into the breath. And if you're sitting down, if you can create a little more space for the spine here, just to really sense that connection that you have of sit bones rooting to earth, but at the same time, crown of the head rising up to the sky. And we're always looking to dwell in that place, right? With our feet firmly planted on the ground, grounded here now, but with our head high enough in the clouds that we can actually dream a bigger dream. That we can remember at all times that there is something greater than us at play, right? That we're not in charge all the time. We can't be so grounded that we think that spinning the actual earth is up to us, right? And we can't float off into space so far that we actually forget that we have a purpose here, right? That we can't sense our own presence, our own body. That we forget how to be practical and come back to those day-to-day things that need to get done, right? We want both. We want to be grounded and we want the space. We want to be human and divine. We want to trust. We also need that faith. So taking a deeper breath all the way into the bottom of the belly. And as you exhale, if you want to slow that breath down, go ahead. And just checking in within your own body right now, what this concept feels like to you, this idea of dreaming a bigger dream, right? What if there was no structure? What if there was nothing you had to keep in place? What if there were no scary responsibilities or obstacles? What if you could just dream up that amazing life that you've always wanted, that maybe you've been scared to actually let yourself dream of before? Right? It can be a scary thing to actually have a big dream if we've been told our whole lives that we can't, right? That we're not good enough, that greatness isn't meant for us. And what if this is your sign that greatness is meant for you? Right? That beauty is meant for you, that unconditional love is meant for you, that whatever you long for is available to you. And the first step to getting there is planting those seeds, right? Defining the dream. That's the very first step, defining the dream. Getting clear and making sure this dream really reflects who you are today. Right? That it's not old or this old idea of what we should dream of, but that it's really yours. That it's really yours. Let's take a deep breath. Open the mouth. Blink the eyes open. We got this is a good one. Isn't this kind of funny? Okay, I feel like what I just said, I don't know if anybody's listening to me. I know you're listening, but sometimes I say something and then after I've said it, I'm like, ooh. I spoke about this a little bit on Instagram story yesterday, taking up space in our own life. Letting ourselves be the priority in our own life. And what I just said about the dream being actually our own, right? How often do we get confused thinking that that we're supposed to aim for something, we're supposed to go for something, but it's actually just what society has told us all along, right? Or it's just what your parents told you since you were little. right? It's like we have these kinds of structures in place and these beliefs in place that maybe don't even make sense to us, that maybe don't even make sense to what we want, but we've been so conditioned to believe that we should want that thing, right? We should accommodate other people in that way. And this card, be honest with yourself. It's really about finding the truth of this situation, finding the truth of what you need, what you want. I'm going to read. Coffee. Be honest with yourself. Look into your heart, and you will know the truth of this situation. It's safe to admit the truth to yourself, for we will support and guide you through any necessary change. Lean upon us for courage and strength to take good care of yourself. Focus only upon your true desires, and they'll come to you upon angels' wings. Focus only upon your true desires, and they will come to you on angels' wings. You receive this card as a gentle confrontation because the angels know you've been hiding from your true feelings. You've probably been afraid that if you admitted how you honestly felt, you'd be overwhelmed with feelings and faced with making some necessary changes that you feel unprepared for. Yet the angels assure you that it's healthiest to face this situation with honesty. They will help you with your emotions, relationships, and any support you need to make positive changes. However, the angels remind you to focus only on your desires and not on your fears, so you can attract the former and not the latter. Additional meanings for this card: the situation will improve when you face it squarely. You deserve better. Trust your own feelings, even if others don't agree. Don't give away your power to others. Avoid getting caught up in the illusion that it is the way it is. How good is this? How good? How good is this card? How good is this card? You deserve better. And don't get caught up in the illusion that it is what it is, so it has to stay this way. No. You have the power to change what you want to change in your life. And this is the card letting you know that the time is now, right? The time is now. There's no better time than right now. And I love that this card is a gentle confrontation because you've been hiding the truth from yourself. You've been hiding from your true feelings. This is like confronting you with something really, really big. Maybe it's something really hard. It's hard to be honest with ourselves, especially if it means we have to make a big change, because change is uncomfortable. Change sucks, but we can't get anywhere without it. And probably all those things that you're going to journal on today in terms of your dream life, they all require some sort of letting go, right? Some sort of shift in your life. And this is it. The time is now. I'm going to bring this card with me over to the mat. Thank you, everyone. So we'll be on yogagirl.com for this practice. If you want to join us there to move our bodies, we're going to begin right now. So bye to Instagram and Facebook and wherever else we are. So I love this card immensely. I also love this coffee immensely.